Hi Krishiv, how
Hello
are
sir,
you?
एकदम बढ़िया.
So how are you feeling?
So feeling both excited as well as nervous to actually join IIM Ahmedabad in a few days time now.
What year that would be when you decided to give CAT, when you decided to prepare for CAT? Round about what time?
So actually I have given two CAT attempts. I gave CAT 23 and CAT 24.
Okay.
So it was in 2023 itself, I guess June of 23, that I decided that I'll give my first CAT attempt right in my third year of graduation, which would be my first attempt that I could have given. So that is when I decided, and yeah, I gave the CAT 23 attempt. Unfortunately, couldn't convert that time.
Okay. So when you gave your first attempt, what was your score?
So I scored 99.75 percentile,
Okay.
and I had calls from all IIMs except IIM Bangalore and Calcutta, as well as FMS. And I converted my FMS call, and I converted IIM Indore and Shillong call, but I couldn't convert the rest. So I decided to actually stay for a year and then give another attempt this time.
So in 2023 you converted Indore and FMS.
Yes.
And you did not join FMS.
Yes, sir.
That's quite interesting. I mean, converting a college like FMS and then not joining it, that was a brave decision. Can you just tell us about that? Why did you do that? What was the rationale?
Couple of reasons for that. So I was actually studying in SRCC, University of Delhi, and FMS again is a part of the same university, and is literally around 2 to 3 kilometers from where I was staying. So culturally and in terms of exposure, I found it. Also talking to a few seniors of FMS who were a part of my same hostel. So culturally, I found it very similar, and though it's a great institution, I felt that the kind of experience that I would have there would be very similar to what I had in SRCC. So I actually wanted a different kind of experience, and particularly a residential MBA program. So that is something that I thought IIMs could provide me better, and of course there were branding considerations in terms of IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta being having a higher brand image. Of course, FMS is a great institution, but still.
But the ROI would be very tempting, right?
Yeah, ROI of course is very tempting in terms of how low they charge in terms of fees, and the packages being at par with the tier 1 IIMs. But still, if I thought of it from a very long term perspective, and I thought that in over a long term, I think an MBA from an IIMA would have paid out more. Of course, it was a risky bet because CAT is very unpredictable, and there are a lot of things that you need to go right for you to land into a tier 1 IIM. But still, due to God's grace, eventually that happened, and yeah, I'm pretty grateful.
So you gave IIM Ahmedabad and Lucknow interview, but
Last
you
year.
couldn't convert in 2023.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think went wrong?
So, sir, I believe a couple of things. So I was going right after my graduation there. So I believe a refined understanding of what it takes to be in a B school, I believe, was missing in some sense, and I did not have a clear idea of what I actually want from an MBA. So I think an year's gap between graduating and then giving CAT again helped me think deeper, think better. Also did some work on the side which helped me with respect to my profile building as well. So I believe all of that would have played a part in terms of helping me get through, and of course better preparation for
But
interviews.
you already got 99.75, right?
Yes,
In
sir.
your first attempt.
Yes.
So you're saying that it was just that you slightly fumbled, right? Otherwise you would have easily converted in 2023 itself.
Possibly, but yeah, can't help it.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of people would like to know, means you got 99.75, but you got a call from Ahmedabad, but you did not get a call from Bangalore and Calcutta.
Yes.
So what do you think helped you in getting a call from Ahmedabad?
So, sir, Ahmedabad particularly rewards academic diversity. So, I believe non-engineers, as in commerce and art students, get extra marks for coming from that background, so that would have helped me in terms of my composite score. Bangalore in particular.
Yeah, talking about the composite score, can you please tell what was your 10th and 12th score graduation?
Sure. So 10th I scored 98.6%. 12th was 99%.
Okay.
But I won't take full credits for that. It was a COVID year, so
Okay.
though I performed consistently, but grateful for my school to award me that score.
So you had about 98.5% in both 10th and 12th. Okay.
And
so that's quite an achievement, even though you were in COVID for 2000 and for your 12th, you got the score from the school. But still in 10th you got 98.6%. So I think that would have helped you in getting a call from
Sure. So
Ahmedabad, right?
actually these schools consider 10th, 12th graduation marks. So if you fall in the top 10% bracket, you actually get a full score in their scoring criteria. So that really helped. And also it becomes a highlight or a spike point during your interviews as well, because professors actually see that you've scored really well and you've scored consistently across your 10th, 12th and graduation. So that is a sign that you'll do well in the B school as well. So that is a very strong positive point.
Okay. So what changed in 2024 interviews? Before that, what was your score, CAT score in 2024?
So in 2024, I scored 99.96 percentile.
Okay. And any other exam apart from CAT?
No, I only appeared for CAT.
Okay, last year also you just gave CAT and
Yes.
24 also you just gave CAT. Okay. 99.96. What about the sectional percentage?
So Cons was 99.98 percentile. And DILR and VARC were roughly around 99.2 percentile.
Okay, so there was no weak section. All the three sections were above 99.
Yes.
So, what about the interview experience? How many interviews did you give this year?
So I appeared for 4 interviews this year. IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta and Lucknow. And I happened to convert all of them.
All the 4. So you converted all the 4.
Yes.
And which institute are you planning to join?
So I'll be joining IIM Ahmedabad.
Okay. So why IIM Ahmedabad?
So of course, IIM Ahmedabad has been one of the oldest IIMs, established in 1961, and it has been a poster boy of Indian IIM, Indian MBA education for a while now, and it's well regarded as one of the best B schools in the country. So and again, in terms of the diversity of the crowd that comes in, and also the academic rigor for which it is known for. So I think all of that combined, and again, when you sit for CAT, the very idea is to actually get into IIMA in terms of how you imagine. So actually being able to get there is like a dream come true. So that is why.
Any reason that it is closer to Surat? Is that the preference or?
Yeah, so actually, my parents like that fact that it's closer to Surat, so just a 3-hour journey from Surat. But anyways, as my professor in one of interviews said that in IIMA, A stands for academics. So given that academic rigor, you don't get a lot of time that you can actually come to your hometown and stay with your family. So it doesn't matter much, but still it's an added advantage in terms of not having to adjust a lot culturally, given that it's in Gujarat itself.
Can you briefly describe how was your interview experience this year? I mean, any rare incident or moment that you can recall in the 4 interviews which you think was very interesting?
Right, sir. So actually, I'll talk about my Ahmedabad interview itself. So what I found really interesting was that though I had a very deep accounting background in terms of being both from a BCom background as well as clearing chartered accountancy, but still the professors, they're not actually asking advanced concepts but basic concepts, and they're trying to actually gauge that from me at a very fundamental level. So one of the questions that was asked was, why is a debit card called a debit card and why is a credit card called a credit card? So on the face of it, it looks like a very basic question to be answered, but deep down how he actually wanted me to answer was actually different from how I answered it. So he actually guided me through that answer. So that process of actually reaching to that answer was very interesting to me. And again, the day my interviews were scheduled, the previous day there's a budget announcement. So he actually asked me to give out five, if I was an opposition leader, how would I counter the claims made by the government with respect to that budget. So that was again an interesting question, because budget essentially is a very positive document wherein the government only talks about what it has done. So actually negating that as an opposition leader was something that was a little difficult as well as interesting to do, because he is again countering me with a lot of arguments, and I had to stay my ground, not be stressed. So yeah, that was an interesting thing to happen.
And what would you say about the duration of these interviews?
So it was roughly around 20-25 minutes, I think, across.
All the four?
So Lucknow was 10 minutes. Lucknow was a short interview.
Okay.
And Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta were around 20 minutes. And Calcutta interview was more or less academic oriented. So right from the start, just after my introduction, they started asking me all kinds of academic questions based on my background on accounts, economics, business studies, general business awareness. And Bangalore was more of situation based questions. They are putting me in different situations and then trying to gauge what would I do in those situations, to understand the situational awareness and how can I think on my feet, putting me in stress situations. And Ahmedabad was a general interview, mix of acads, current affairs, talking about myself, my motivations, why I want to do an MBA and all of that.
Okay, and how about your VAT experience? You think any particular skill is needed for VAT apart from the normal preparation?
Yeah, so Ahmedabad has an AWT, and Bangalore, Calcutta, and Lucknow have a VAT, which is the written ability test. So with respect to AWT, so GMAT, for example, has something argument or a sentence, and you have to critically analyze it and present arguments both in support of the argument as well as against it. So basically, to actually master AWT, what one can actually do is to read a lot about the different assumptions that we make while reading something, and think of everything at a very basic fundamental level, that what I'm reading, why is it true, why is it false, and then try to think what of it is actually true and what of it is assumption. So that really helped. And apart from that, I believe general awareness about various topics really helps. For example, my Bangalore VAT was about why Indian startups are the need of the hour, especially in defense. So an understanding of what are the total defense exports of India, the contribution of defense in Indian GDP, why indigenous defense is important. So some stats, some basic understanding and idea, so that you can put a lot of points. Similarly in Calcutta, it was around financial literacy and how to increase the penetration of financial instruments in Indian economy. So again, an understanding of what are the different kinds of financial instruments, and basic idea of different kinds of them. So yeah, that really helps.
So did you prepare anything differently this year for the interviews and all that as compared to 2023?
So again, what I prepared in 2023 really helped, because it set a base. So a few of my answers were already prepared and I had to refine that, so that really helped. And apart from about preparing differently, so the academic questions that I prepared it from a more practical standpoint rather than just reading up all my theory, because that is the kind of questions that are really asked in those interviews. So that is one thing. About the HR questions, I didn't give a lot of focus on HR questions last year, because I thought that HR questions are just basic and you need to prepare for ACADS. But this year I gave a special emphasis on HR questions, for them to not just sound like any other HR question and be very personal and specific to my background, my personality, my goals and ambitions. So that is something that I specifically worked upon and made sure that my answers are very unique and represent my identity. And apart from that, I prepared a lot for current affairs and general awareness. So instead of just reading facts, I went deeper into understanding the pros, cons, and the entire background of different issues, so that I can start conversation and with the professors, so that it's engaging.
Okay. And how did you go about preparing your for the CAT exam?
So CAT exam, again I had given an attempt. So
No, for the first year also,
Okay.
for CAT 2023, what preparations did you do? You took 6 months, right? In June, you started in June.
right.
So around about 6 months you prepared for the 23 exam. So how did you go about it?
Right. So conceptually, I had also appeared for a few undergrad entrance exams like IPMAT, DUJAT, which was back then an entrance exam for DU. Conceptually, some of these concepts which are asked were similar in this exam, though the level of it increased, but still that helped. And apart from that, I realized I relied on a lot of open material in terms of my preparation. So YouTube generally was very helpful in terms of learning concepts, but I laid more focus on practice in terms of giving a lot of mock tests, in terms of giving a lot of sectional tests, and realizing what my weak areas are. So cons and verbal have been my strong areas, but DILR was something that I was weaker at right from the start, even for this attempt as well as previous attempt, and actually came from a position where I couldn't even solve one set in 40 minutes to solving 4 sets in this attempt. So that is something that's a journey that I actually went through in terms of my
So
preparation.
a lot of people face this issue in DILR. They are not able to solve even one set. So can you describe it a bit more? What exactly did you do for DILR specifically?
Yeah, so first thing that I did was that instead of just looking at the set and if not being able to solve for 10-15 minutes, not just looking at the answer, but taking out time and making sure that I always set no matter the amount of time that I'm taking, at least for the first few months, so that I develop that rigor that I need to solve this set no matter how. So that actually developed that resilience that you just can't give up and you need to solve that set. And then again over time I timed my sets in terms of how much time that I'm giving, and then I also laid a lot of focus on set selection, because after a lot of practice I came to know what are my strength areas in terms of the type of sets, what are my weak areas, so then I could adjust that what set should I attempt first, what set should I attempt later. And besides that, I used to regularly solve a lot of Sudoku. So every day in the newspaper, I used to do Sudoku. So that really helped. It was both enjoyable and as well as it helped me in terms of, because a lot of DLR is just thinking where, like, think about patterns and where do I put things and arrange them in a way that it actually solves the entire puzzle. So that really helped doing Sudoku every day.
So we know that the IIMs give a lot of weightage to the profile. So
Yes.
did you do anything apart from the academics to build on your profile?
Yes, sir. Actually, given that I went to SRCC for my undergrad, it gave me a lot of opportunities in terms of doing a lot of case competitions while I was at my college, being a part of different societies like the Economic Society, the Finance Society, and also doing a lot of internships. So I had a campus internship that I got at Nomura, which is an investment bank where I was a part of their wholesale strategy team. So that gave me a lot of exposure into global markets and investment banking at an undergrad level. So that was really interesting because getting to know finance concepts at a very young age was really helpful. And again, I had done CA Inter as well, so that also helps in terms of building a very strong foundation for commerce and accounts. So that again is a spike because professors prioritize students who are coming from a very rigorous academic background because they know that the rigor is going to increase only from here on. So that really helps if you have something in your profile that actually spikes in terms of academics. So gold medals that you have won, international ranks in Olympiads.
So did you give any Olympiad?
Yeah, I actually secured an international rank 3 in the International Commerce Olympiad. So
This was during your school?
yeah, during my 12th standard.
Okay.
So that again was something that was a spike. Also, I secured a national rank 3 in the National Economics Olympiad. So all of these combined really helped in terms of getting in and profile building.
Okay, so you are saying that all these things really matter.
Yes.
Olympiads and competitions.
Right.
Okay. And you did a internship with Nomura.
Yes.
So you did that in wholesale
Strategy.
Okay. So you have any preference or inclination towards any particular stream in your MBA? Have you decided that you want to do MBA in particular?
So as of now, I actually kept my options open because I'd like to actually go there as a clean slate, and then based on what I observe, what I experience, the opportunities that I get, and what I think is best for me, I'd like to pursue that. But again, since I already have exposure to some areas like a bit of finance, a bit of consulting, so those would be my priority areas. But still, I'll be open to anything and everything that comes my way.
Okay, and initially you said that you are also interested in doing a startup sooner or later.
Yes, sir.
So what if you get any such opportunity during your 1.5 year stay at IIM Ahmedabad?
So of course I'd like to pursue that, and IIM specifically has an IIM Mavericks fellowship wherein they actually, if the idea is promising and you're willing to work on it, they actually have a fellowship for the students where they invest a certain amount of money against equity and also give around a stipend to support that candidate, and you also get a 2-year placement holiday in case if your startup doesn't work, so you can come back to the campus and sit for placements. So in a way you can de-risk yourself and also pursue any startup opportunity that you get. So that is something that IIM Ahmedabad actually provides, so it's really helpful for candidates.
Okay. So what advice you like to give to a aspirant who wants to prepare for CAT, let's say CAT 2025? So a commerce student who is planning to start his preparations today.
Yes, sir.
What advice would you like to give to him?
First of all, I'd say I think today is the best time to actually start for CAT. You're sitting in, I think, end of May. So I believe this is a good, starting early is anyways better, but starting now would be the best thing that you can do. And I think consistency is really important. So starting early and starting consistently, not actually leaving a lot of things for later. And also what personally worked better for me is that I, instead of waiting a lot for giving mocks, I gave my first mock really early into my preparation. So that really helped me in terms of understanding the exam and also knowing my weak points, because across data points from 3 to 4 mocks, I could clearly see that my DILR is very weak and I can score, that will really bring down my score. So then I could focus my attention more towards DILR, and that is how I could improve my score and make sure that I at least reach my sectional percentile, and over time also exceed that to going above 99th percentile in DILR. And for in terms of section by strategy, I think VARC, I solved a lot of RCs. So not just a lot of people say that you should read a lot of essays and reading a lot helps, but what worked for me personally was to actually start solving RCs from day 0 itself, because I realized that when you read a newspaper or read an article, you're only testing your reading, but you're not actually testing your comprehension. So the questions really help you test whether you're comprehending it right or not. So that is something that was really important when I was preparing for VARC. Cons was again pure practice, going from a lower level of difficulty to higher level of difficulty over time. And DILR was again resilience, making sure you solve every question by hand, not just looking at the solution, and investing time, staying patient. So yeah, I believe that really helped, and focusing the last 2 to 3 months purely on mocks and giving around 3 to 4 mocks every week at least.
And how was your experience with time? How would you like to describe that?
So yeah, time was something that I actually came to in my second attempt of CAT. So the first attempt of CAT I chose to completely sort of self-prepare. I was in Delhi at that time, so sitting in my hostel room, I prepared for it entirely. But while it was my second year and I wanted to make sure it's 100% effort from my side and I leave uh, no scope for any sort of error, I actually came to T.I.M.E Surat, and with the idea of actually taking mentorship as well as practice test guidance from T.I.M.E Institute. And throughout my mock giving journey, it was really helpful in terms of actually, so again they did provide a lot of material, both in terms of mock test sectional, a lot of practice tests that really helped, and also throughout mocks the guidance that is given in terms of where I am going wrong, where I can improve my score, and how should I think about the exam. So not just the technical aspects of it, but also in terms of the thought process, mentality. So that really helped, and I'd say the help was even more when it comes to post CAT. So pre-interview guidance, a lot of mock interviews were taken thanks to you as well as UTSAV sir. So that really helped in term, because both of you are again IIM alumni. So uh, being on both sides of the table, as a student who had interviewed first and then, so you know how it works. So
And our job was very easy. We didn't have much to do. He already had a profile which I don't know how he wasn't able to convert 2023. So I was really I think for whatever time we had a chat with him, the major discussion was how on earth did he not convert 2023 Ahmedabad and Lucknow interviews. So yeah, so our job was really easy. We hardly had anything to do because he already had a very very good profile. I mean, with such a good score and in 10th and 12th and a decent internship and a great college. So, and he had also Olympiads and given competitive exams before that, in which he had secured a good rank in All India rank. I think DUZ you had a All India rank
one.
rank 1 and IP met All India rank 14. So I think if that profile is not enough, then most people would not be able to get into. And yeah, converting A, B, C, L, I think that figure in India, I think it would not cross 50. Max to max, there will be 50 people who might convert all the four. I think 50 लोग होंगे ज़्यादा. Maybe 30, 40, 50 or max 60. Convert all the, first of all, get call and then convert it. So, so it was a really easy job for we people. So, Krishiv, ये बताओ कि आप you're going to IIM Ahmedabad. When is your college starting?
So officially the classes commence from 18th of June, but since I'm a non-engineer, so all non-engineers are called around 2 weeks prior for a preparatory course on maths. So I'll be it will be starting for me from 2nd June onwards.
Okay. So what would be your goal for the next 1.5 years? What do you intend to get out of IIM Ahmedabad apart from the placements? Obviously placements are important because you pay a good amount of money. So
Yes.
what apart from that you are looking from the institute? I think most people who get into the college don't really have the idea what exactly they need to do. All they focus on is just the placements.
Right.
So what is your idea as of now?
Right. So first of all, I'd like to actually open up a bit in terms of my personality. So I have a relatively introverted personality. So I think since it's a very rigorous, intensive residential program where you actually stay close to around 400 people, one of the top minds. So I think, and also coming from diverse backgrounds with even more non-academic talents than academic talents, I think that will help me open up explore different hobbies, and devote my time to activities apart from academics as well, because I believe this will be my last institution where I'll be studying, and then like it's the last 2 years that I get to both study as well as to explore my personality, because then I'll be working. So I think that will be really important for me. And second is in terms of networking, in terms of knowing people who have come from different parts of India, from one of the best institutes of the country, and to know what they are doing, and maybe working alongside them on different things, and yeah, just working with professors. And given that Ahmedabad particularly is known for academic rigor, I'm not sure if I get a lot of time to do a lot of things apart from that. But I feel that, as Raghuram Rajan says, that anyone who survives term 1 at IIM Ahmedabad can survive anything in life. So I feel that building that resilience, especially during my first year, would be really important and would help me throughout my life.
Hi Krishiv, so how are you? Congratulations on converting the Holy Trinity, right? I'm reminded of my own time when I also converted all the three institutes. So we've learned a lot about your journey, and all the profile building that you did, and all the good prep and the great scores that you have. So I want to know that all that is not glittering, right? There are also some parts which are not so great. So would you like to describe some of the major struggles or some low points in your CAT preparation, and how did you overcome all of that?
Right, so I'll talk about both attempts that I gave.
Sure.
So actually, my CAT 23 attempt that I gave, coming out of the exam, I didn't feel that it was a great attempt, because I actually scored really low. So if I talk about my scores, VRC is something that I performed really good at. So I scored 57 marks in my VRC, but cons, which was my strongest section, was just 18 marks. So, and again DIR was 21 marks. So that was a really shock, and given that VRC is a very unpredictable section, so you don't really know that after you've performed, is it good or bad. So till the time results came, I was really sort of believing that I'll have to reappear again, but due to God's grace, I eventually got to that percentile. But again, interviews में I was expecting, so जब I appeared for CAT, लोग बोलते थे कि यार 99.56 percentile if you get, and you are a male, and if you are a non-engineer, so easily get all calls. But again, I only got a call from IIM Ahmedabad amongst the Holy Trinity. So again, the three options that I have, it got reduced to one, and I had only one thing to bet on for my MBA journey. And again, that didn't turn out really well in terms of not getting that convert, despite having a wonderful interview. So I had around 40-minute interview that year, and it was a great interview. Everything went really smooth. But still the result didn't show up. So that was really hard in terms of accepting that fact. And also, given that it's a very lengthy journey, that you first have to give CAT, prepare for that for around 4 to 5 months, and then again go through the entire interview journey, waiting for results. That again is a 4-5 month journey. So doing that again for over 10 months was something that's very hard on mind, takes a lot of toll mentally,
Right.
and also has a very high opportunity cost, because if you're dedicating time here, you are not doing something else. So that's really hard in terms of navigating that. But still, I was fortunate to have support from my friends, family, as well as mentors.
Right.
So that journey became helpful.
So Krishiv, you had great scores both the time. So now that you are coming for the second time in the interviews, how did you approach the interviews differently this time, so as to ensure that you have a better chance of converting it this time around? So obviously you did something better this time, that's why you converted, right?
Yes.
So what changes did you make to your interviewing style, or what changes did you make during this time?
Right, so across all my interviews, introduction and talking about myself was the first thing that was asked. And the last time I didn't pay a lot of focus on the HR questions and preparing that answer, but this time I would say around 40-50% of my prep was completely focused on preparing my HR questions and talking about myself a lot. So I perfected that answer to a level that, and since that answer is in my hand, because I was sure that will be asked, so I perfected that. So I think that really helped. I gave a lot of talking points to the interviewers in my introduction, so that conversation could happen, and I actually take charge of the interview and lead it, so that I can make sure that it goes down my favorable points and they don't actually ask me something that's out of my comfort zone.
So did they ask something which was completely unexpected? Did you answer any of such questions during your interviews?
Yeah, so there are a few academic questions that, so for example, in my Lucknow interview, they asked me some few questions on on advanced statistics, thinking that it's a part of my BCom curriculum, but it wasn't. So 4 consecutive questions I couldn't give an answer, and I just had to.
So what was going in your mind at that time?
Again, that was my first interview of the season. I wanted for it to go really well, and then right after
4 questions not answering in a row, you would start spiraling, thinking all the negative stuff. So
but still I was calm inside, because I knew that it's fine to actually not know something that you've not studied, and I was really upfront that, sorry sir, I actually don't know the answer to this question.
So is it okay to honestly just say that if you don't know?
Yeah, it's 100% better to say that you don't know instead of saying something
I mean,
wrong.
a lot of candidates make these mistakes, right? They think that if I don't know, let me make an educated guess, or let me say something instead of flat out saying don't know. But I believe flat out saying no is more honest, more authentic.
Because professors, I believe, they like if you accept your ignorance, if you accept your limitations.
Okay, so Krishiv, I wanted to also ask you that during CAT preparation, what is one myth which is very widespread, but you want to bust that myth right now? So what do you think? There is one big myth about CAT preparation which a lot of students believe in but actually should not.
Okay.
No problem, it's fine.
मतलब CAT interviews का भी
anything prep.
थोड़ी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं कुछ.
हाँ, तो you can lay out multiple myths also, it's fine. Give us some myths regarding CAT preparation. Sure.
So first of all, just I mentioned कि VRC, for example, it's not just about reading a lot of things but also practicing it. So I am a very big believer of solving RCs rather than just reading out different articles, essays, etc. So I think that is really important, because just through reading you can't test your comprehension ability and skill. You can only do that by having a feedback loop that you're questioning, you're answering, and then you know whether it's right or wrong. So that is one thing. Second is what I'd like to say that if you look at it at a composite score level, just CAT score is not enough. If someone who's watching it in your 11th or 12th and planning to do an MBA, I think consistency is something that's really important. So you can't just focus on CAT as an exam. I see a lot of students who have even better percentiles, but just that they don't have that 999 profile, as they call, or have perfect scores in their 10th, 12th and graduation, they don't make it. So it's important that students focus on their academics right from their 10th, 12th and undergrad, because generally people score dip in undergrad, so that should not happen. You should actually have a consistent upward trending is more favorable, but still a consistent trajectory in terms of academics.
Sure, great. So Krishiv, okay, so please let us know about a little bit about your passions, right? What do you do in your free time? I mean, what engages you the most mentally? Gives you that fulfilling feeling, right? So, what hobbies or passions do you pursue apart from academics?
Yeah, so I love to engage myself in sports. So
Oh.
with my friends, not professionally as such, but I try to take out time for whenever I get for sports. So cricket is something that I love to play, and of late I've been playing a lot of pickleball almost every day
Right.
with my friends. So that's something that's really
So,
interesting.
cricket is something you follow very religiously.
Yeah.
So, what kind of which IPL team are you a fan of?
So it's pretty non. So it's like, so I'm a fan of RR Rajasthan Royals.
Okay.
It's not a very favorite team to be a fan of, but yeah, I've been following.
That's fine.
them.
I mean, why are you? It's
No,
not
but
something to be
it's-
ashamed of, right?
Yeah. It's not a standard choice for people. It's mostly an RCB or a
There must be a
CSK.
reason why
Yeah.
you.
I've been
say
following
that.
them from when I was young, and
So,
that's-
were you like
Yeah, I
fan
was
of
Shane-
Josh Butler? Or,
I was a Shane Watson fan.
Oh.
So that is why I've been following.
But that's really old. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, in the initial days of
Yeah.
Rajasthan Royals. Great. So, so Krishiv, I'm sure in IIM Ahmedabad when you go, I know the first year is hectic because I've also been a part of that. But the second year, really you get the time to explore and do things, right? So there are a lot of sports available which you can play, but are you thinking of continuing your sports in the college also, or?
Sure, because from what I've heard from seniors, IIMA has a lot of great sports infrastructure, a lot of amenities. So I'd love to actually continue that, and at least for the first few weeks, at least I know that when summer internship period hits, so you actually get a lot less time. But still, for the initial weeks, I'd love to play sports, especially since all of us would be new. Would be a great way to make friends as well.
Great. So, how are you? How good are you at socializing? I mean, there's going to be a lot of networking when you go there. So, how good are you actually right now? I mean, do you make friends easily, or like you're kind of more reserved?
No, I'd say I'm more reserved. Not
You take a long time to make
yeah.
friends.
So I take a long time, but when I actually be friends with someone, then it's a lot easier for me. So
And so I'm assuming that you would have a lot of friends from SRCC. Maybe some of them you might find in the campus also.
Yeah.
Because I think IIM Ahmedabad is a big SRCC community.
I guess even this time around 20 people from SRCC.
20 is really low actually. When I was part of it, there were 40 people from SRCC.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the cohort would be that good, but so are you looking forward to connect to all those SRCC folks at or you are?
No, we have already formed a lot of.
Oh, wow,
WhatsApp
already?
groups. Yeah.
Right. So what are you guys planning?
Planning in terms of SRIs being.
Right.
Nothing as such, but it's great that we actually know each other, and part two, it's great to actually like be in a tribe. So being from an institution together and then coming to another institution and having that support ecosystem, both in terms of the current batch and also in the senior batch also we have a lot of people from SRCC. So helping us out through academics, through our CE preparation and all of that is really helpful to have people from there.
Okay. So okay. I hope you have a great time at IIM Ahmedabad and you make the most out of it. May you get the role you're looking for. But I also want to know one last thing from you that going like forward, right? There's a saying, or a lot of professors say, or you might even hear it during your orientation, that a person who graduates from IIM Ahmedabad is supposed to reach sea level by the next 10-12 years, right? That's something they say. So are you interested in long term, interested in climbing the corporate ladder, or you want to make something of your own, or enter into the entrepreneurship side?
So I definitely want to be an entrepreneur and not actually. So of course, a couple of years of corporate experience and work ex really helps. But long term, I'd like to involve myself in entrepreneurship. And I think that is something that even currently IIM Ahmedabad professors and people there actually prioritize as well, because not a lot of students from IIM Ahmedabad per se are pursuing entrepreneurship. So that is something that even institution and professors are prioritizing.
Okay, great. So, Krishiv, I think we had a great chat with you.
Likewise,
Hope
sir.
all the best
Thank you.
to you,
Thanks.
and hope to see you succeeding in future.